The day Earth changed forever started like any other. People went about their lives, unaware of the cosmic shift about to occur. In New York, Sarah Johnson sipped her morning coffee, watching the busy streets below her apartment. In Beijing, Lai Wei finished his late-night coding session, rubbing his tired eyes. And in a small village in Kenya, Amani helped her grandmother prepare breakfast for the family. Little did they know, high above the planet's atmosphere, something extraordinary was happening. It began with a strange flicker in the sky. At first, most didn't notice. But soon, astronomers around the world started buzzing with excitement and fear. Their instruments were picking up readings unlike anything they'd ever seen before. Dr. Emily Chen at the Mauna Kea Observatory in Hawaii was the first to sound the alarm. Her hand shook as she dialed the emergency number she'd hoped never to use. "This is Dr. Chen," she said, her voice trembling. "Code Omega. I repeat, Code Omega." Within minutes, governments worldwide were on high alert. Military bases scrambled their jets. News channels interrupted their regular programming with breaking news alerts. And then they appeared. Massive ships, each the size of a small city, materialized in Earth's skies. Their designs were sleek and alien, gleaming with an otherworldly metal that seemed to absorb and reflect light in impossible ways. They hovered silently over major cities across the globe: New York, London, Beijing, Moscow, Rio de Janeiro, and more. Panic erupted in the streets. Cars screeched to a halt, their drivers gaping at the sky. People ran, though they didn't know where to go. Some huddled in their homes, glued to their screens, waiting for any information. In Washington, D.C., President Olivia Martinez stood in the Oval Office, surrounded by her top advisors. Her face was grim as she watched the live feed from outside. "Madam President," her chief of staff said, "we need to address the nation." Martinez nodded, her eyes never leaving the screen. "Get me on air. Now." As world leaders prepared their responses, the alien ships remained eerily silent. No communication, no movement, just their overwhelming presence, a silent threat looming over humanity. In London's Trafalgar Square, a crowd had gathered despite the police's attempts to clear the area. Among them was Jack Thompson, an amateur photographer who had rushed out with his camera when he heard the news. "This is history," he muttered, snapping picture after picture of the ship above. "Bloody, terrifying history." Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. It started soft, but quickly grew in intensity. People clasped their hands over their ears, wincing at the sound. And then, as abruptly as it began, it stopped. A silence fell over the world, more profound than any in human history. Every eye, every camera was trained on the ships, waiting. A beam of light shot down from the largest ship, hovering over the United Nations headquarters in New York. Within the beam, a figure appeared, humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, and its eyes were large, dark pools that seemed to hold the depths of space within them. When it spoke, its voice resonated not through the air, but directly in the minds of every human on Earth. The message was clear, heard in every language simultaneously. "People of Earth, we are the Galactic Empire. Your planet now falls under our domain. Resistance is futile. Prepare for integration." The world held its breath. In that moment, the course of human history changed forever. The age of Earth's isolation was over. Humanity now faced its greatest challenge, a challenge that would test their courage, their ingenuity, and their very right to exist as a free species. As the aliens' message faded, a new sound filled the air, the sound of humanity's response. It started as a whisper, then grew to a roar. From the streets of New York to the favelas of Rio, from the towers of Tokyo to the savannas of Africa, a single defiant cry arose. Earth is not for sale. The battle for Earth's future had begun. In the days following the Galactic Empire's arrival, Earth transformed into a hive of frantic activity. The initial shock gave way to a grim determination, as humanity realized the enormity of the threat they faced. World leaders, setting aside old rivalries, convened an emergency global summit. The United Nations headquarters in New York, still overshadowed by the looming alien ship, became the center of Earth's resistance. Inside the Grand Assembly Hall, President Olivia Martinez of the United States stood at the podium, her voice echoing through the tense silence. "We face an enemy unlike any we've known," she said, her eyes scanning the room. "But make no mistake, we will not go quietly into the night. Earth is our home, and we will defend it." Her words were met with thunderous applause, a rare moment of unity among the world's nations. As politicians debated strategy, the scientific community sprang into action. In laboratories and research centers across the globe, the brightest minds worked tirelessly to understand and counter the alien technology. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a brilliant robotics engineer from Tokyo, found herself at the forefront of this effort. Her team worked around the clock, reverse engineering scraps of alien tech recovered from brief skirmishes with scout ships. "It's like nothing we've ever seen," Yuki murmured, her eyes wide as she examined a piece of alien alloy. "But we're making progress. We have to." Meanwhile, military forces worldwide mobilized on an unprecedented scale. General Hassan Kazemi of the newly formed Earth Defense Force coordinated with armies across the globe, preparing for the seemingly inevitable conflict. In a secret underground base beneath the Sahara, Hassan pored over holographic battle plans. "We're outgunned and outmanned," he told his international team of strategists. "But we have home field advantage. We know this planet better than they ever will." As the adults of the world prepared for war, a different kind of revolution was brewing among the younger generation. Teenagers and young adults, raised on a diet of sci-fi and video games, approached the alien threat with a unique perspective. In a basement in suburban Chicago, 17-year-old tech prodigy Zhou Chen hunched over her computer, lines of code reflecting in her glasses. "They may have advanced tech," she muttered, her fingers flying over the keyboard. "But I bet they've never dealt with a human hacker before." Across the ocean, in a bustling market in Lagos, Nigeria, street vendor Adebayo Okafor discovered an unexpected talent. His ability to jury-rig old electronics into functional devices caught the attention of local resistance groups. Soon, he found himself teaching others how to turn everyday items into tools of rebellion. "We use what we have," Adebayo explained to his eager students. "That's humanity's strength. We adapt." As Earth prepared, the Galactic Empire watched with growing unease. Their initial assessment of an easy conquest was quickly proving false. Aboard the flagship hovering over New York, Emperor Zixath received troubling reports from his subordinates. "The humans are resilient," admitted Commander Vrock, his tentacles twitching nervously. "They refuse our offers of peaceful integration, and their technological progress is concerning." Zixath's multifaceted eyes narrowed. "Then we must accelerate our plans, prepare for full invasion." But the Empire had underestimated the speed of human communication. A low-level maintenance worker, part of the skeletal alien staff brought to Earth, overheard the Emperor's orders. Torn between loyalty to his people and a growing admiration for human tenacity, he made a decision that would change the course of the conflict. Using a jury-rigged communication device, he sent a coded warning to Earth's defenders. The message was brief, intercepted by a small resistance cell in Brazil. "They come in force. 3 rotations. Prepare." As the warning spread like wildfire through human resistance networks, a new sense of urgency gripped the planet. The deadline was set. Earth had 3 days to prepare for full-scale invasion. In homes, in labs, in military bases, and in hidden rebel camps, the people of Earth steeled themselves for the fight of their lives. The next 3 days would determine the fate of humanity. As night fell across the globe, millions looked up at the stars, no longer seeing wonder, but a battlefield. Yet amidst the fear, a fierce pride burned. This was their home, and they would defend it to the last. The clock was ticking. Earth's greatest test was about to begin. The tension on Earth was palpable as the deadline approached. 3 days had never seemed so short. As the final hours ticked away, the Galactic Empire's massive ships began to move, positioning themselves strategically around the globe. In New York, the UN Security Council convened for one last emergency session. The room was thick with anxiety as world leaders made their final preparations. President Martinez stood, her face grim but determined. "This is it," she announced. "The moment that will define our species. We've prepared as best we can. Now we fight." As if on cue, the sky outside darkened. Smaller alien crafts began to descend from the motherships, their engines humming ominously. The invasion had begun. In London, Jack Thompson, the amateur photographer from Trafalgar Square, found himself in the thick of the action. He'd joined a local resistance cell, using his camera skills to document the invasion and gather intel. As alien troops materialized on the streets, Jack's hands shook as he snapped picture after picture. "Bloody hell," he muttered, ducking behind an overturned bus. "They're really here." Across the city, ordinary citizens turned into impromptu soldiers. Years of dystopian movies and video games had unknowingly prepared them for this moment. They used whatever they could find as weapons. Cricket bats, kitchen knives, even heavy books became tools of resistance. In Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's research was put to the test. As alien forces approached her lab, she activated the prototype defense system she and her team had developed. A shimmering energy shield sprang to life around the building. The first wave of alien weapons fire splashed harmlessly against it. Yuki allowed herself a small smile. "It works," she breathed, then turned to her team. "Quick, transmit the schematics to all major cities." Meanwhile, in the skies above the Sahara, General Hassan Kazemi led Earth's aerial defense. A motley fleet of human aircraft, hastily retrofitted with reverse-engineered alien tech, engaged the invading forces. "Remember your training." Hassan's voice crackled over the comms. "Use their size against them. We're more maneuverable. Hit and run." The battle was chaos. Human pilots, vastly outgunned but fighting for their homes, their families, pulled off maneuvers the alien pilots had never seen before. For every Earth craft that fell, it took 2 or 3 alien ships with it. In Chicago, young Zhou Chen's hacking skills proved invaluable. She and a global network of young hackers launched a coordinated cyber attack on the alien fleet's communication systems. Zhou's fingers flew across her keyboard, her face illuminated by lines of alien code. Come on," she muttered. Suddenly, her screen flashed green. "I'm in. Guys, I'm in their system." Across the world, alien ships began to falter as their communications went haywire. Some crashed into each other, while others veered off course, their pilots confused and disoriented. In Lagos, Adebayo Okafor led a group of civilians armed with makeshift weapons and jury-rigged alien tech. They ambushed a group of alien soldiers, their homemade devices disrupting the invaders' advanced weaponry. "For Earth," Adebayo yelled as they charged, his voice echoed by dozens of others. The aliens, caught off guard by the fierce and unconventional attack, fell back in disarray. Aboard the Empire's flagship, Emperor Zixath watched in growing horror as reports of resistance poured in from all corners of the globe. "This is impossible," he hissed, his tentacles writhing in agitation. "They're savages. How can they be defeating us?" Commander Vrock, nursing a wound from a failed ground assault, spoke up. We underestimated them, Your Highness. Their adaptability, their ferocity. It's unlike anything we've encountered." As the first day of invasion drew to a close, the outcome remained uncertain. Earth had bloodied the Empire's nose, proving far more resilient than expected. But the alien forces were vast, and this was only the beginning. In hidden bunkers, resistance leaders gathered to plan their next moves. In field hospitals, the wounded were tended to, their pain mixed with pride at the day's small victories. And in homes around the world, those who couldn't fight huddled together, sharing what news they could get, praying for their defenders. As night fell, the stars that had once seemed so distant and peaceful now blazed with the fires of orbiting battles. Earth had survived the first day, but the war was far from over. The planet held its breath, wondering what the dawn would bring. As the sun rose on the second day of the invasion, Earth's defenders took stock of their situation. The planet had survived the initial onslaught, but at a great cost. Major cities lay in ruins, and countless lives had been lost. Yet the human spirit remained unbroken. In the underground command center beneath the ruins of the Pentagon, President Martinez received updates from around the globe. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but her voice was steady as she addressed her advisors. "We've bloodied their nose," she said, pointing to a holographic map showing alien retreats. "Now it's time to show them we can punch back." Across the Atlantic, in the war-torn streets of Paris, an unexpected hero emerged. Pierre Dubois, a humble baker, had discovered that his sourdough starter had a bizarre effect on alien technology. The microbes in his century-old yeast culture somehow interfered with the invaders' equipment. "C'est incroyable," Pierre exclaimed as he watched an alien weapon sputter and die after being smeared with his dough. Word spread quickly, and soon bakeries across Europe were working overtime, their products becoming an unlikely but effective weapon. Meanwhile, in the dense jungles of the Amazon, a different kind of resistance was taking shape. Indigenous tribes, led by Yara of the Yanomami people, used their deep knowledge of the rainforest to run circles around the alien invaders. Yara, her face painted with traditional war markings, spoke to a group of mixed tribal warriors and stranded city dwellers. "The forest is our ally," she said, her voice strong. "We will teach you its secrets, and together we will drive out these sky demons." Their guerrilla tactics proved highly effective. Alien troops, unused to the humid, insect-filled environment, found themselves ambushed at every turn by opponents who seemed to melt into the lush greenery. In orbit, the space battle continued to rage. Astronaut Sarah Chen, commander of the hastily weaponized International Space Station, coordinated a daring attack on the alien fleet's rear guard. Now, Sarah yelled into her comm. A swarm of retrofitted satellites, guided by Zhou Chen's hacking team on the ground, slammed into the alien ships. The explosion lit up the Earth's atmosphere, visible even from the ground. Back in New York, Dr. Emily Chen, no relation to Sarah or Zhou, made a breakthrough that would change the course of the war. Studying the alien corpses from the first day's battle, she discovered a critical weakness in their biology. Their cellular structure, she explained to a room full of scientists and military officials, it's highly sensitive to a specific frequency of sound. The implications were enormous. Within hours, audio labs around the world were working on weaponizing this discovery. In Africa, the tide of battle shifted dramatically. General Hassan Kazemi, coordinating with Adebayo Okafor's growing rebel army, launched a major offensive against the alien stronghold in Egypt. As human forces approached the Great Pyramid of Giza, now overshadowed by a massive alien structure, Adebayo activated his secret weapon. Thousands of small, handmade drones, each equipped with speakers blaring the disruptive frequency, swarmed the alien defenses. The effect was immediate and devastating. Alien soldiers writhed in agony, their weapons falling from incapacitated limbs. The pyramid, once a symbol of ancient human achievement, now stood witness to a new chapter in Earth's history. As news of victory spread, hope began to replace fear in the hearts of Earth's defenders. But the war was far from over. Aboard the alien flagship, Emperor Zixath was furious. "How?" he roared, his tentacles lashing out at cowering subordinates. "How are these primitives defeating our superior forces?" Commander Vrock, still loyal despite the setbacks, offered a suggestion. "Your Highness, perhaps we've been fighting the wrong way. These humans, they're not like other species we've conquered. They're unpredictable, creative. Zixat's eyes narrowed. "What are you proposing, Commander?" "A new strategy," Vrock replied. "One that takes into account their unique qualities." As the second day of battle drew to a close, both sides prepared for what was to come. Humanity had proven its worth as a formidable opponent, but the Galactic Empire was far from defeated. In homes and bunkers across the globe, people gathered around makeshift communication devices, sharing stories of victory and loss. The Earth had taken a beating, but it had also dealt out some harsh blows of its own. As night fell once again, the planet's defenders allowed themselves a moment of hope. They had survived another day, and tomorrow they would fight on. The battle for Earth's future was far from over, but for the first time since the invasion began, victory seemed possible. As the third day of the invasion dawned, both sides prepared for a dramatic shift in the conflict. The Galactic Empire, reeling from unexpected defeats, was about to unveil its new strategy. Meanwhile, Earth's defenders, emboldened by their successes, planned to press their advantage. In the ruins of Moscow, a group of Russian scientists, led by Dr. Anatoly Volkov, had been working tirelessly on a secret project. They had managed to capture an alien soldier alive and were attempting to communicate with it. "Remarkable," Anatoly muttered, studying the alien's reactions to various stimuli. "It seems they communicate not just verbally, but also through color changes in their skin." This discovery led to a breakthrough in decoding the alien language. Within hours, rudimentary translation devices were being distributed to resistance fighters worldwide. Across the globe in San Francisco, tech mogul Elon Xu, no relation to the historical figure, had repurposed his social media empire into a global coordination network for the resistance. His advanced AI algorithms were now predicting alien attack patterns with uncanny accuracy. "They're learning," Elon explained to a group of military strategists, pointing to a holographic display. "But so are we, and we're learning faster." Meanwhile, in the war-torn streets of Rio de Janeiro, a different kind of resistance was taking shape. Carla Santos, a renowned street artist, had discovered that her colorful murals confused the aliens' visual sensors. "Art is our weapon now," Carla shouted to a crowd of volunteers, paintbrushes in hand. Soon, the city's walls bloomed with disorienting patterns, turning the urban landscape into a psychedelic battlefield that gave human fighters a crucial advantage. High above the Earth, astronaut Sarah Chen made a startling discovery. The International Space Station's instruments detected a strange energy signature emanating from the alien flagship. "It's like nothing we've ever seen," Sarah reported back to ground control. It could be their power source, or a weapon. This information quickly reached the highest levels of Earth's defense. In the underwater bunker that now served as the United Nations headquarters, world leaders debated their next move. President Martinez stood up, her face resolute. "We need to take out that flagship," she declared. "It's time for a direct assault." As Earth prepared for this daring attack, the Galactic Empire was implementing its new strategy. Emperor Zixath, acting on Commander Vrock's advice, launched a psychological warfare campaign. Massive holograms appeared over major cities, showing scenes of peace and prosperity under alien rule. The Empire's message was clear: surrender, and this could be your future. But humanity wasn't so easily swayed. In London, Jack Thompson used his photography skills to expose the holograms as false. His images, showing the stark reality of alien destruction juxtaposed with their false promises, went viral globally. "Don't believe their lies," became the rallying cry of the resistance. The Empire's plan backfired spectacularly. Instead of demoralizing Earth's population, it only strengthened their resolve. In Kenya, Amani, who had started the invasion as a simple village girl, now led a continent-wide network of runners. These messengers carried vital information across Africa, using ancient trails and bush skills to evade alien detection. "We are the veins of this land," Amani told her runners. "Through us flows the lifeblood of resistance." As the day progressed, Earth's forces began to converge for the assault on the alien flagship. General Hassan Kazemi coordinated a global effort, bringing together a motley fleet of aircraft, from state-of-the-art fighters to crop dusters retrofitted with alien tech. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's energy shields were now standard issue, protecting the human craft from the worst of the alien weaponry. Zhou Chen's hacker army stood ready to disrupt the enemy's systems at the crucial moment. In his Chicago basement, now a high-tech command center, Adebayo Okafor put the finishing touches on a special surprise for the aliens. "Let's see how they like a taste of their own medicine," he grinned, patting a device reverse-engineered from captured alien technology. As night fell, tensions reached a fever pitch. Earth's defenders knew that the coming battle could decide the fate of their planet. In homes and bunkers, in rebel camps and military bases, people held their breath, waiting for the signal to attack. Aboard the alien flagship, Emperor Zixath sensed the impending assault. "Let them come," he growled, his tentacles curling in anticipation. "We'll crush their pathetic resistance once and for all." Little did he know, humanity had a few more surprises in store. As the hours ticked by, the Earth seemed to hold its breath. The greatest battle in human history was about to begin, and the fate of the planet hung in the balance. The stage was set for an epic confrontation. Humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and indomitable spirit were about to face their ultimate test. The moment of truth had arrived. As the first light of dawn broke over the horizon, Earth launched its all-out assault on the alien flagship. The sky lit up with the fire of thousands of engines as humanity's makeshift armada rose to meet their invaders. General Hassan Kazemi's voice crackled over the global command network. "This is it, people. Everything we've got. For Earth." The battle began in earnest. Human fighters, a bizarre mix of military jets and civilian aircraft retrofitted with alien tech, swarmed the massive alien ships. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had surprise and desperation on their side. In the cockpit of a leading fighter, Sarah Chen, who had come down from the space station for this crucial mission, gritted her teeth as she dodged enemy fire. "Zoe, we need that hack now," she shouted into her comm. Back on Earth, Zhou Chen's fingers flew over her keyboard. "Almost there. Got it," she yelled triumphantly. Suddenly, a third of the alien fleet's weapons went dark, their targeting systems scrambled by the young hacker's code. The human forces pressed their advantage. Pierre Dubois' Sordo bombs, packets of his disruptive yeast culture, were dropped on alien ships, causing their systems to sputter and fail. Adebayo Okafor's reverse-engineered alien cannons fired from the ground, punching holes in the invaders' shields. But the Galactic Empire wasn't going down without a fight. Emperor Zixath, watching the battle from his command center, unleashed his secret weapon. A massive energy beam shot out from the flagship, cutting a swath through the human fleet. "Fall back," General Kazemi ordered, watching in horror as dozens of Earth craft were vaporized. Just when all seemed lost, an unexpected ally emerged. The alien maintenance worker who had warned Earth of the invasion made his move. He had been quietly sabotaging the flagship from within, and now he activated his trap. Alarms blared throughout the alien ship as its power core began to destabilize. Emperor Zixath's tentacles writhed in fury. "What's happening?" he roared. Commander Vrock, realizing the tide had turned, made a fateful decision. He turned to his emperor and said, "Your Highness, we must retreat. Earth is not worth this cost." But Zixath was beyond reason. "No, we will not be defeated by these primitives." In his rage, he struck down Vrock and took direct control of the ship's weapons. The flagship's main cannon began to power up, aiming directly at Earth's surface. If it fired, it would devastate entire continents. Sarah Chen saw the danger. "We need to take out that cannon," she yelled, diving her ship towards the flagship. Other pilots followed her lead, forming a suicide squad. On the ground, Dr. Yuki Tanaka watched the battle unfold on her screens. "The flagship's shield is still too strong," she muttered. Then an idea struck her. She grabbed her comm. "Carla, we need your art, but bigger." In Rio, Carla Santos got the message. She commandeered every video billboard in the city, projecting her disorienting patterns into the sky. The effect was magnificent. A city-sized artwork that confused the alien sensors just enough. "Shields weakening." Yuki shouted, "Now's our chance." Sarah and her squad dove for the opening, firing everything they had. Adebayo's ground cannons provided support, while Amani's network ensured every human unit was coordinated perfectly. The combined firepower finally broke through. Sarah's ship, badly damaged, crashed directly into the alien cannon. The resulting explosion was blinding. For a moment, everything went silent. Then, slowly, the massive alien flagship began to list to one side. Cheers erupted from every human comm channel as they realized what had happened. Emperor Zixath, his ship falling apart around him, couldn't believe his eyes. "Impossible," he whispered. The flagship, pride of the Galactic Empire, began to fall from the sky. The remaining alien ships, seeing their leader defeated, began to retreat. Some even surrendered, their crews realizing they had underestimated humanity's strength. As the sun fully rose on this new day, the people of Earth looked to the sky not in fear, but in triumph. Against all odds, they had stood united and emerged victorious. The Galactic Empire's invasion had been repelled. Earth had declared its independence to the cosmos, loud and clear. But as the cheers of victory rang out across the globe, wise leaders like President Martinez knew this was just the beginning. Earth was now a part of a larger galactic community, for better or worse. The real challenge of shaping humanity's future among the stars was just beginning. In the days following Earth's stunning victory over the Galactic Empire, the planet buzzed with a mix of jubilation and apprehension. The alien threat had been repelled, but humanity now faced a new reality. They were no longer alone in the universe. As the dust settled, world leaders gathered in the partially rebuilt United Nations headquarters in New York. The room was filled with a sense of cautious optimism as President Martinez took the podium. "We have won a great victory," she began, her voice carrying across the globe. "But our work is just beginning. We must now decide how Earth will take its place among the stars." The challenges were immense. Cities lay in ruins, millions were displaced, and the planet's resources had been stretched to the breaking point. Yet, amid the devastation, there was hope. Dr. Emily Chen, the scientist who had discovered the aliens' weakness, presented her findings to the assembly. "The invasion forced us to advance our technology by centuries," she explained. "We now have the means to rebuild our world better than ever before." Indeed, the reverse-engineered alien tech was already being put to use. In London, Jack Thompson marveled at the sight of gravity-defying construction drones rebuilding Big Ben. "Blimey," he muttered, snapping pictures. "Who'd have thought we'd end up thanking the aliens?" Across the globe, similar scenes of renewal were playing out. In Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's energy shields were being adapted to create sustainable power sources. In the Amazon, Yara and her tribe worked with scientists to use alien terraforming technology to restore damaged rainforests. But it wasn't just Earth that was changing. The defeat of the Galactic Empire had sent shockwaves through the cosmos. Other alien species, long oppressed by the Empire, reached out to Earth with messages of gratitude and offers of alliance. In a secure facility in Geneva, Dr. Anatoly Volkov and his team worked tirelessly to improve their alien translation devices. "We're not just rebuilding Earth," he told his colleagues. "We're building a bridge to the stars." The first of these bridges came in the form of a peace delegation from the Galactic Council, a coalition of free worlds that had long opposed the Empire. Their ship, sleek and gleaming, landed in a specially constructed spaceport outside New Delhi. As the alien delegates emerged, the world held its breath. But fears of another conflict quickly faded. These aliens came with open hands, or tentacles, and open hearts. "We have watched your struggle with great interest." The lead delegate, a shimmering being of pure energy, addressed the UN Assembly. Your victory has inspired countless worlds to rise up against oppression. We come seeking not your submission, but your partnership. The offer was clear. Earth could join the Galactic Council as equals. It was an opportunity for humanity to help shape the future of the galaxy. But not everyone was convinced. Some, like General Kazemi, urged caution. We've only just fought off one alien invasion, he warned. How can we be sure this isn't another trick? Others, like the young hacker Zhou Chen, saw boundless possibilities. Think of what we could learn, she argued. We could explore the stars, cure diseases, solve climate change. As the debate raged, an unexpected voice brought clarity. Adebayo Okafor, the street vendor turned resistance hero, addressed the UN. Look at what we achieved when we united against the Empire, he said, his voice steady. Imagine what we could do if we united with peaceful aliens for the good of all. His words struck a chord. After much discussion, Earth's leaders made their decision. They would join the Galactic Council, but on their own terms. Earth would not be a junior partner, but an equal player in galactic affairs. As news of the decision spread, a new sense of purpose filled the air. Schools began teaching alien languages alongside Earth languages. Universities established departments of xenobiology and astropolitics, and in spaceports around the world, a new generation of ships was being built, ready to carry human explorers to distant stars. 1 year after the invasion, on the anniversary of their victory, Earth launched its first official diplomatic mission to the stars. The ship, christened Unity, carried a diverse crew representing all of Earth's peoples. As Unity rose into the sky, watched by billions, President Martinez's words echoed across the planet. Today, we take our place among the stars. Not as conquerors, like those who sought to subjugate us, but as explorers, peacekeepers, and friends to all peaceful beings in the cosmos. The ship disappeared into the depths of space, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of a united Earth. The Galactic Empire's invasion, meant to enslave humanity, had instead unleashed its greatest potential. Earth had declared its independence, found its unity, and now looked to the future with hope and determination. The next chapter in human history was about to begin, and it would be written among the stars.